Hey guys, welcome back to Hawkeye Scanner Trade Ideas. This is Coach JR, and on behalf of the Hawkeye Trading team, I'm going to share with you one of the latest loan ideas that we have from our system. All right, let's go and dive in right away. Let's work on this. Let me just minimize myself. And today I want to talk to you about Devon Energy Corporation, ticker symbol DVN. Now, there's all this idea that the dollar made strength. Today we have one piece of data that will be very important. Let me just pull that up on the economic calendar. Let me just have it here. We'll have the U.S. inflation rate, and we also have the core inflation rate. Core inflation rate year over year and the month over month. That will be today in about 2 hours and 4 minutes. And that will define if we're going to have a strong tapering, plus it may have the mix of interest rates. And that's what actually is going to give that boost to the US dollar. Still, if that were not to happen, we will have a figure that indicates that somehow there's a transitory scenario, which a lot of people are doubting. Then commodities may have another boost, and companies that work with commodities will also have that opportunity to increase their stock price. Okay, so today, take a look at the company, how actually it closed yesterday. The volume is suspicious. The volume is extremely high. Average volume 10 million shares. Yesterday, 9.7 million shares. That means that there's something happening. One of the things I want you to pay attention when you look at, for example, Yahoo Finance, just as basic as you can go to pick opportunities to trade. Look at the last 6-month trend. We are coming from $21.17 all the way to a high back in June, first week of June, around $31. So it's almost very close to 45 to 50% return in 6 months. So these little pullbacks, they were just opportunity for you to buy around the $25 range. So let's jump and take a look at our Hawkeye trade tools. First, remember Hawkeye trends plus stops. It will allow you to join the trend and stay as long as you have to be. Because one of the questions that a lot of investors, not only traders, face is, okay, when do I jump out of this trend, or where do I place my stop? That's the core idea. Or when do I come back? That's the thing. Like, you made money, you cash out, and now you want to buy again because we're in a bull market, right? Inflated, not inflated. We are in a bull market. So the idea is to use Hawkeye trends plus stops to guide your path. That's what we do. The other thing we need to always balance is how are we looking at charts? We have to look at, and this is the duality in the Hawkeye trader methodology. It's like we look at the long-term trend versus short-term trend to decide where we are jumping in or jumping out as we need. We have to be very flexible as traders. And what we have here is that we're coming and jumping in sometime back in November when the stock was at $9.55. And Hawkeye trends plus stops guided us to stay and join the trend again, or buy more if you have that dry powder and ammunition. You can go back at 20, or in this case, you have the opportunity to join and add more at $16.20. Now, we do have another sort of like decent pullback that you can catch with your eye. You see, it goes all back to the second level of Hawkeye trends plus stops. And that was a nice opportunity to rejoin or buy more in the direction of the trend at 23.80. So if I'm buying today shares of Devon Energy Corporation, I will be looking to have my stop loss at least at $21, for example, if I want to be more aggressive with how much I want to let the market breathe. I will go ahead and set my stop loss at a 26%, 26% for every $1,000. That means I don't have to risk all my money. That's not the way it works. Every time you listen to someone say, oh, I lost a shirt in the stock market, dummy. That means that you are risking more than you should. And it's not the market the one to blame. That's you. That's you. Now, with the Hawkeye Trader Tools indicators, everything that we have, it's allowing you to have a logical area where you're going to place your risk. There's no guarantees in any business. Disney is not a guaranteed business for anyone. I mean, they make it work. So the same way you have to make work your trading for you. Now, this is a long-term trend and what I will looking at as far as risk. What I'm looking as far as potential upside, if I look at previous liquidity knots, I can say in a very conservative, I'm looking all the way back to liquidity from July 2018, and that will take me about a 61% in shares. That's the return. And my risk reward ratio is not exaggerated, will be risking $1 to take home $2.45. Not a bad deal. Okay. Now, what is happening on the daily chart? This is where the money is coming, the big money. I already shared this is my view. This is what you can do shares. And I will say we'll be looking at the next 12 to 16 months to complete this target. All right. 12 to 16 months, not in 24 hours. Now, what do? I look for opportunities to maximize. So if we actually have on the table 60%, how can I make this a better trade? Then I have to work and look for leverage products, but leverage products that allow me to look for asymmetric risk. Bet little, look for big money. So I'm going to go, most of you have seen now, I use quote media to bring on my screen potential trades. I'm not asking you to sell your car to do this, all right? So you're going to take potential trades and DVN, and let's see what we have. Okay. Very good. We'll go to option chain, and I like to have enough time. I've been trying, and from time to time with the profit flow group, we look for weekly. The challenge is that you have to be fast. You need to place your order before the market opens on Monday. You need to be fast. Sometimes we can easily pull off the market 200% in 1 hour. That's realistic, but if it doesn't work, you're looking for a 60% haircut. I mean, 60% loss on your capital. But the potential is there. When it looks to these opportunities, then I want to make sure that we look at a lot of time. Time has to be our friend. So, like I said, you can take 60% in shares, just buy equity. Take $10,000. You may look for a $6,000 return or a loss of 25% on your capital allocated. So in this case, I want to have time. And I'm going with the monthly expiration for December. That's December 17. So I look at the table and see what may not happen. First, one easy way for you to find opportunities is to look where is the highest concentration of open interest contracts. This one is easy. You look at what we have here. We have 5,420 contracts. That doesn't mean that you're going to win. What it means is that there, for some reason, independent traders or some institutions, some small hedge funds are betting on this area. So there's money there to be made. The other way is like I look for all the strikes available. You click all the strikes and you examine everything. The first idea will be for me to bet on certainty. So that means I would like to buy in the money. Yes, I'm buying time, and you're going to buy in the money. Not deep in the money like Nancy Pelosi, but you still buy deep in the money. You still buy in the money, and that gives you a margin of safety. You're going to pay more on your premium, but you're buying time and safety. So in this case, I like to go with the 28. I'm going to leave behind this concentration, and I'm going in the money. So I'm going to take the 28, and I'm going to pay for that last sell. That's $3.35. The low of the contract was $1.35. Open interest $385, and the delta is still pretty decent. It's 50% right now, sitting at 59. So that will be our guidance. The contract high was 420. So in this particular trade, at least I will be looking to in the next. So we're in September, October, November, December. I'm looking for an opportunity for me to double my money. I repeat, double my money. If you want to set a stop loss, then I suggest you use, at least with options, a 60% stop loss. Remember, we're working with options. They may not move, but when they move, they will do it very fast. All right. So that's the guidance. And this is the first one. Now, when I look at the more aggressive version of this trade, that I'm looking for multiple times my money, asymmetric risk, I'm going to bet little and look for big money. Then I'm going to take far out of the money positions. And I want to take those before everyone else notices it. As you can tell, the real game begins once we break the year's high, 2021 high. That will be at 32. That was back on June 7. That's about $31.96. Once we break to the upside, that's where the big magic begins, because that's when the price starts rotating, and then you look for the big move. So a lot of people will say, well, I'm buying the pullback. And yes, you're buying the pullback. Hawkeye trend plus stop, it's showing it to you. That's what you're doing. But we want to bet on the unknown before it happens, because once it happens, you're not going to make big money. That's just the way it is. All right? So now I'm going to look for that big trade idea, potentially to make 10 times my money. So first, I'm going to buy more time just to make sure I'm covered. And I'm probably going to go with the April 14. This is the monthly expiration of next year. Let me see the different strikes that I have available. They're not too many, but I'm going to bet on the 40. Let me go again and see. I was talking about 49, something like this. That was back on this one, 2018. That's 45. So that's $45. I'm going to take this one, 45. I'm going to take the 40. Okay? And then I'm going to share with you something else I'm doing, which is just a basic calculator. The high for this contract was 145 delta. It's not too bad, 20%. Volume is low. So you can probably get this for, depending on the spread, but you can get it for, I would say, $1.20. Still worth it. And what I'm looking is to sell at least at $12. Now, for that, the stock has to move. It has to move. So we talk about going back to the levels, okay? The levels around these 46. That's 60% move in the next, I would say, 7 months. Is there a probability for that to happen? Yes, it is, especially in this market, especially also if the dollar tanks. That's something you have to consider. So if that's the case, what I will do then, it's go for the kill on this one. I'm looking for 60% on my shares. Fine. I'm looking to double my money, buying in the money. This is the one in the money. 28 call, December 17. And now I'm looking to really go for the jugular. I don't know if the jugular's here. I have to check. But we're looking for go for the kill, like George Soros. All right? So now I have my target. It's 40 call, monthly expiration, April 14, 2022. That's enough time. But I need to know what may not happen. So I'm going to use this calculator that I'm going to share with you. Look at the address so you can pull it. Some of you have everything included with your brokers. Tastyworks, I think Interactive Brokers also do the same. So I'm just going to use basic without implied volatility, just a raw calculation, potentially. So DVN, okay, let's pull that information so we can have it. There you go. Now let's select the option. That's the 40. Yeah, it's going for 127. And let's say I'm going to allocate 10 contracts. Okay, 10 contracts will be close to 1,000. Let's call it $1,300. And let's say at the time we get to $40 to $45. Let's just have an idea what may happen. Okay, so first off, ideally, we want this to happen at some point in March. There's not a lot of chance to make that money, so I won't actually get my 10x. It will probably have to move more. Let me see if we do 45. If it happens, 45 to 50. And again, this is just a calculation. It's not what I think it has to happen. It's just probability. There you go. This is a little bit better. If the stock were to make a move between $45 to $50, if it does it before around February, March, that's where we have the opportunity to turn every $1,000 into $8,800. Not exactly 10x, but still pretty decent return. Now remember, this is the far out of the money option. We have a lot of time, and we're playing with probabilities that we're in the bull market and the dollar may tank. But also the fact is that we're getting this all this information from our Hawkeye scanner. That's what we do. I was not looking for Devon Energy, DVN. It just popped on my Hawkeye scanner. So now I'm paying attention. Now I'm looking at the probabilities, and I know what I have to do. Again, this is the trade I want to take to play and look for that big money. Every $1,000, potentially $8,800 in profits. But that has to happen. We have to see Devon Energy, and I'm not counting the fact that volatility may be higher. All the way to March 14, 2022, it should be trading at $50. Is that something that may happen? Well, I mean, it looks like if we go back to the levels on 2018, we'll go back to 45. We're not far from 50 because that will go all the way back to liquidity that we have on December 2016. So it's on the chart. It's not something that may not happen. And at that point, we'll be looking to take home on shares. Our yield will be 75% of our money. So if you invest $10,000, you can take home probability with enough time and the conditions, $7,500. But if we go and take our play, which we have a 16% probability, positive probability for it to happen, then look at look what we have. With $1,300, you can take home estimated $8,800. Now, what if you take $10,000, right? That will be 80 contracts. And that will give you, let me just do it again, March 14, then for every $10,000 you invest, potentially you are taking home $70,000 in profit. What would you like to have? Now remember, this is just if you have the money. Please, you don't have to sell your car. I'm not asking you to do that, all right? So this is the idea I have for you today. Weekly, we're working with our team. Oscar will be preparing everything and in working together with the Hawkeye Traders team, and we're going to bring these ideas to you. Remember, there are ideas, guidance for you to look. If you have questions, if you want me to take a look at a stock and come with an idea how to set up the options, feel free to reach out, reply to the email when you find this content, or just write on the comment section for Hawkeye Traders, all right? Now, very important, as usual, if you want to have access to all the Hawkeye Trader indicators, there's a link. Click on the link so you get the promotion, and everything that you need so you can access all the tools that I'm using when it comes to Hawkeyes. These tools, Hawkeye Traders, Roadkill, Volume, the heat map, you're going to get that. But at the same time, there's a second link. On that second link, you can click and you can learn more about what I do and how I learn, why I do this, how I work with the Profit Flow group to find these explosive trade ideas, okay? So remember, you can always access at any given time. Click on the link to access. You want to have the tools that will lead you to success. And at the same time, get to know more of what I do. I will be coming with more content for you on behalf of the Hawkeye Traders team. But at any time, you may want to join as well the Profit Flow group and all the research I'm provided. Thank you for watching, guys. I wish you an excellent week. And if you have questions, you know where to find me. Until the next one. Ciao, ciao.